most importantly, you got to really get out there and change and impact lives. Because the fact is that, you know, facts tell, but stories sell. And when you really get good at telling the story, telling stories not even of your own, but of other individuals that have had success in the product, it makes a huge impact. Because what happens is when you do become a product of the product, and when I say product of the product, you using the product, you actually living, breathing, eating, sleeping, dreaming about our products, right? You're eating, dreaming, sleeping about, you know, the individuals that you're impacting. You know, don't become that typical salesperson and just want to get a $20 commission check.
That's good.
Much deeper than that. Because when you think beyond the $20, what will happen is that $20 will turn into a $60 profit, maybe even a $100 profit, and you get excited about that. Because see, really, when you are really, it's like in your blood. You know, your blood, your vein becomes green, the TLC green, right? And that's because the product is within you, and you are actually changing people's lives, taking the time to do that. So the first step is that shift. The shift. And so what I want you guys to do is take an exercise and close your eyes and understand that you have to really visualize yourself during a consultation process, which I'm going to talk about, really taking time out with people and not just wanting to get them to go to your website and purchase something, but truly taking the time out to find out and hear exactly what their needs are. Okay? So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to visualize. I want you to visualize hundreds, thousands of people that you're going to impact over the next 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, a year. So you have to clearly see those 1,000 people that you're going to impact. And the reason why I know that you can impact that many is because they're out there. We haven't even scratched the surface of where this company can be when we introduce these products. I hope you're closing your eyes because I'm closing my eyes. But you have to visually put that in your heart. Put that in your brain that, you know what, I'm going out there and I'm going to make a difference. I am a master seller because I'm a part of the product. I am a master seller because I truly care about the people that are before me. I am a master seller because I'm here to serve and impact the lives of others. Do you see? Do you see the 130 days? Do you see 260 days? Do you see 1,000 within a year? Do you truly see it? So it doesn't matter how far it is, you just have to see it. And then you have to seize it. And then you have to act on it. I want you to open your eyes. Did you see the 100 customers? Mm-hmm. Did you see the 200? Mm-hmm. Did you see the 1,000? Yes. Not thousands. Thousands. And so it really is about shifting. You know, even from the building process of adding on new business partners, it's about shifting. See, if we can talk ourselves, the tongue is an amazing thing. We can talk ourselves out of stuff. So be careful of the words that come out of your mouth. Your tongue can really contribute to your success. Okay? I know y'all were like, okay, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes. But I'm going to tell you, this part right here is the meat and potatoes. Everything else is gravy. Because if you can get this part, you really get this part is easy. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do, that was the first part, is the mindset. And you really have to affirm yourself daily. You know, set a goal daily. You know, whether you know it or not, on average, it's 3 to 4 customers a day, right? To acquire 100 customers a per day. You're going to do a little bit over 100. But 3 to 4. Set a goal. You know, and if you're not accustomed to getting one, You need to set a goal to get one a day until you consistently get that. Then you're gonna raise the bar. See, you have to compete with yourself, not with anybody else, not with me, not with Gail Mathis, not with Chris Oliver, not with Dr. Helen. You have to compete with yourself. And so you want to make sure that if you're not getting one customer a day, you need to set that as a goal. Then you need to set it as 2. Increase, increase, increase. Y'all with me? All right, set a goal. And so what I want to do is the way I like to train is really to draw from you, because I'm sure some of you have some specific questions. Then I'm going to actually back into some of the things I'm going to share, but I really want to make sure that I address the questions that you have. That way you can leave here and you'll have the information that you need to equip you to be successful in retailing the product. So I'll start with anyone have a question in particular in mind that they want to ask. And I can address it one at a time.
Well, I know you mentioned, or it was mentioned about you having a big push on the internet. Was that for the building business or the retail side? And if so, what happened or what strategy did you use?
Yes. Prior to TLC full-time, I was a VP in banking, and I worked 60, 70 hours a week, so I had to leverage the internet, to build my business, to build my customer base, to build my distribution, so to speak. And so one of the tools that I used was Hootsuite.
Killing Hootsuite this week.
That's
Just E.
Just E.
T-E, yeah.
I leveraged Hootsuite because I was working 60, 70 hours a week. And so in Hootsuite, before I would go to bed, I would set up my post for the next day. And basically what it will do, it will go to your social media sites. You can set it up to go to Twitter, you can set it up to go to Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere you want to expose to, you can set it up. There are different programs out there within Hootsuite that you can get the best of the best at the time. Hey, if it's free, it's for me, so that's what I use. I use the free tool, and it really maximizes. And so what I would do is I would schedule my posts 30 to 45 minutes apart. That way I am penetrating and catching every person that is coming on the internet, no matter what time of the day it is in the world. That way I'm able to catch people over the other side of the world. I can catch people that are home during the day, and then I can catch people that after they put their children down, they're seeing what's going on. Y'all with me? Yeah. So in leveraging that, the tactic I did was I made sure I did 15 to 20 posts a day. And most people say, wow, that's a lot. It really isn't. Probably I could do more. And so in that, you don't want to just flood with just product. You want to really inspire people. You want to start out by in the morning. You want to say good morning. You want to let people know you're real. You care about them, and you want to give them something inspirational to run with. This morning I talked about being grateful. I did that on a morning inspirational call, and typically whatever I share on a morning inspirational call, I'll lead into my good morning to talk about whatever I talk about. This morning I talked about being grateful. And so from that, what it does is, I'll share with you guys a little tip. Thank you. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he actually helps Fortune 500 companies market their business on social media. And this is some people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But what most people don't know is you want to make sure that your file, your profile is on public, so that every person can actually see your profile. Yeah, it does expose yourself to everybody in the world, right? But it actually exposes. Even this morning I had 3 orders, people that I didn't even know, because of my public posting. But let me give you a tip. This is going to really increase. It's going to really increase your business. So really take heed of this, okay? Because I'm all about increase, increase, increase.
Yes.
Y'all feel that?
Yes.
Increase. And it ain't about me, it's about you. It's about you increasing. So, this is a tip that you really need to run with. We all are a team, right?
Yes.
We're all one team, one dream, right? 100,000 families, right?
Right.
So we really have to play team on the internet. We have to play ball. It's like being in the championship. I ain't even following the playoffs because I don't watch TV anymore. But it's like being in the championship, you know, we're playing team, right? If I do a post, my expectation is as a team, we at least like, and when we comment, the more we comment and the more we like each other's posts, guess what? It stays in the news feed. You know, we ain't looking for you to say, you know, if somebody posted something about the resolution, let's give you that example, right? Let me take a sip, because otherwise I won't. Let's say if somebody posted something about the resolution. If that impacted your life and you were able to lose 5-10 pounds, just play team. You might not benefit from it, but I'm gonna tell you, if we all play team and really make sure that we're commenting and we're also having integrity. If somebody puts something on, if it's somebody that's not in the business and they make a comment, can you send me some tea, or can you don't go and inbox that person if that's not your post. Let's have some integrity. Okay, that's part of playing team, right? But when we go and we like it, when you know it, the more people that like it, if you have it publicly, it's actually going to penetrate on Facebook that much more exposure. Anywhere from 25 to 50% more exposure. That's what this person that's in the profession is helping these Fortune 500 companies. Okay, I'm giving y'all a great tip because it's very important that we play team. So what I do is, as I'm scrolling through the news feed, if I see something that you posted, I'm going to argue. I'm going to make a comment because I want you to win. Because I understand the exposure to the internet. And see, the more we expose, it stays in the news feed. The longer it stays in the news feed, the longer it's exposed out there, and then you're going to get more attraction. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Y'all excited?
Yes.
All right, so I did that, and it took me a while, so don't get discouraged when you might have 5 or 6 people liking your posts, but just know, I'm watching. Because even after a year, this lady said, I've been watching you over a year. And now I want to hear about this team. I want to hear about this resolution. She ain't like nothing. She ain't made no comments. She said, hey, Dr. Kim, nothing. But they're watching. You know what they're watching for? They're watching for consistency. They're watching for if you're real. Do you have a family? Do you do fun stuff? Are you just all corporate? You know, are you out there really exposing and using the product? Are you sharing your testimony? You know, like I recently posted that I was using the Chewy and the Nutriverse as a meal supplement, right? And from Wednesday to Saturday, I had lost 8 pounds. I didn't tell them buy yours today, or I just shared my story. I had a picture of the Chewy and the Nutriverse. I said, man, I'm excited. I just started my meal replacement on Wednesday. I lost 8 pounds. You know how many orders I got for the Chewy and the Nutriverse? So we just have to expose ourselves as much as possible. But as far as back to you, sir, going back, let's talk about the penetration. Leveraging the internet is very powerful. Inspirational. You want your personal stuff. I post a lot of stuff about my daughter. Yeah, I brag. You know, I love when Dr. Helen shares about all her children. You know, I love it, you know, when I see people like Shannon Allen share her story. I love it when I see Shauna Davidson take a weekend trip out of Berlin to Las Vegas. See, you know, that's painting the picture. That's painting a lifestyle. I love it when I see a LaQuanda, you know, share about how it's changed she and her husband's life. See, we have to really share our personal side too. We have to open up. Even just the other day, I posted something about a work in progress. I related to so many people. See, we're not perfect, and people need to know that we're not perfect. You know, we need to make sure that we're exposing people and letting them know that we're not perfect, right? Then, outside of the family things, what do you do fun? So occasionally if I go out on a date night with my husband, I say, hey, I'm going out on a date night. I'm on a date night with my husband. We'll be in a dinner. I'm excited. Or even like yesterday as I left, I shouted out to the guys that my husband doesn't call with. I said, hey, look out for my husband because he's looking really sad. That's real, right? And so what it does is it attracts people to your page that people realize that you are real. You're not some supernatural person out there having success. You're just like them. Y'all with me?
Yes.
And then alternating, putting the products out there, sharing the story. You know, yeah, lose 5 pounds in 5 days. You know, or you know, you need this in your life. Are you ready to become detox free? Just use little small taglines. Don't put a whole lot of verbiage. And you know what they say? Copy the right cat. So if you are friends or you're following me, go ahead and copy and paste whatever I put. I never put my link up there. You know why I don't put my link up there? Because I want to have a consultation with you.
That's right.
You know why I don't? The reason why I don't put my link up there is because it actually sometimes it blocks you on Facebook. They think you're promoting a business. And so I found out that a long time ago, and I stopped putting my website up there. Because you have to think smart. You have to really think outside of the box. And I'm going to tell you, when you create, it's about relationship building. So that's what I did. So while I was at work, I would be at lunchtime. I Max who works in here. Some people call me sick today, right? But while I was at work, at lunchtime, I maximized that hour. I bought my lunch. I bought me a bag lunch, something I could eat within 10 minutes, so that way I could follow up my inboxes. I could call those people, have a 10-minute consultation. And most times I was able to do a consultation, you know, maybe 3 to 4 consultations during my lunchtime. My drive to work, I'm following up with people. My drive back home, I was following up with people. See, a lot of times we'll turn the radio on and we'll just, you know, we're just so excited to run down home because we're ready to go home, right? And then that 35, 45-minute drive, we could have been calling people. So I shut the music off unless I'm doing personal growth of the day. Okay? So I utilize and maximize the time because time is everything. Time is money. Right? So we really have to maximize our time. Then, working a corporate job, I had to come home. I still had my daughter at home when I started this business. My son had just started college at East Carolina University. We have 3 older sons that are adults. But I still had to find a way because I'm in ministry, you know, in the marketplace. Different functions out in the community, the church, you know, different organizations to be a part of. I still had to find balance. But I still had to make some sacrifices too. So some things I had to say, you know, I had to learn how to say no. And then some things spiritually, of course, I had to say yes because I had to know how it goes, right? So in doing that, I had to make some sacrifices. So my husband, he would actually take the lead and make sure everything in the house was taken care of. You know, from cooking to cleaning, everything. Okay? So we have to find our match for women. You know, if you believe in the business, then if you're married, then you need to have a conversation with your whole family. You know, you need to let them know, hey, I'm going on a 120-day run, you know, with my business to build my customer base. And I need your help. It's all for us. You know, it's going to be, in the end, I want you to make out your own goal poster. What's your goal poster? See, I talked about last night, my daughter wants to see 3 pairs of shoes. Right? But her goal posts change probably every day. You know. So we have to make sure that we engage our families in the process. Because I think that's where we fail short, is that we don't engage our entire family in the process. So it's very important that we do include them in the vision, because they are part of that vision. Include your families in the vision. You know, you have to write the vision and make the plan, but when you have a family that is praying together, that is on one accord, when it comes down to mommy giving on a call, your child is not going to answer, but they know they need to be quiet in the house. Okay? They know when I leave my calendar at a certain place. So my daughter knows my schedule. I tell her, don't worry about asking me, you go look at the calendar. And if it's open, you write down what you need me to do that day. That make sense? Because see, we have to work together. It doesn't mean to stop being a family-oriented family. It's saying, this is just a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. See, a lot of people think that the customers come easy. They do, because you gotta speak it. But there's some things in the process you gotta prepare. See, preparation means success. When you prepare your family, you'll have success. When you prepare your mind, as I showed you in the beginning, you're gonna have success. But if you fail to do that, you're gonna get stuck. And you're gonna get stuck, and you're gonna get stuck, and you're gonna get stuck. But again, as I shared with you guys, that when you shift your mind, you will go in that direction. Did that help you, sir? What's your name? Corey, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr.
Thank you so
Helen.
much for coming, Dr. Kim, and serving all the families that are here today, and serving the people that are standing behind them that you don't see. And that's just hats off to you. So much love for coming out, because we really need this in Houston. So I have a twofold question. Can you speak to the perspective of the simplicity of what you're doing on social media for all the new people that have never done network marketing, or they kind of feel a little squeamish about the internet? Can you speak to the part of what components have you found most favorable? Has it been Facebook, Instagram? When you're using that suite, what have you gotten most response? And are you keeping your messages outside the lifestyle when you do promote the products? Are you putting a price point on those products? Can you kind of walk us through what that looks like? Are you selling them at wholesale? Is there a little bit of markup? Are you staying away from that? And then also, the second part of it is the week you went global. Can you kind of expound a little bit in layman's terms what that week looked like for you as you was going to the next level?
That's good, Helen. That's good.
Dr. Helen, keep me on point, so I remember all those things. I mean, excellent questions. But
You like?
I'll start off with the simplicity of it. So, and using the internet, repeat the part about simplicity.
Okay, so I know you talked about lifestyle, and you get a lot of traction from that. And when we kind of want to hone in to the retail side of it, are you actually putting flyers up? Are you just commenting on the testimonial side of what it's doing for you?
That's good.
Excellent. And other people? And then are you getting more traction on Facebook, Instagram? What have you found, most success from?
Okay. My most success has been from Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook has given me the most penetration. Each person is different. Some people are Instagram queens and kings, As far as the person that's weary to the internet, I just joined the internet on Facebook in 2009 when I was in the company. I met Paula and Kenny Lloyd and Dex and Tanya Scott, and of course the other Scotts, Greg and Anita. But I joined because I felt like that's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was weary. I was the person that stayed away from the internet. I was not a person that liked it. I was this corporate girl that, just was not into the internet. I thought that there were people out there that preyed on people, I'm a very private person, so I wasn't up to exposing myself. So I had to grow. So you will have to grow for those that are not used to, exposing yourself to it. I can tell you that if you don't expose yourself to the internet, you'll miss out. So I started out in 2009, and I may have had maybe 400 or 500, friends. I was excited about that, and then later, as I kind of understood the process, and I actually located people. See, Facebook gives you an opportunity to locate people you ain't seen in years, from family to high school friends to college friends. It gives you that opportunity to reconnect. So you're not going to go in as soon as you connect to them and say, hey, you want to drop 5 pounds in 5 days. You got to rebuild that relationship, right? Because it is about relationship building. So Facebook was a key component for the success. Now, the next part that you were asking me was
Did you kind of put it right out there about the price points of the products?
No.
Or did you do flyers that alluded to testimonies of before and afters? And just kind of walk us through what you find that's been working for you. When you put a post up, you get a lot of traction, like people are inboxing you.
Excellent. So first of all, I believe that my passion flows out because I am a product of the product. So whether I use a product like the Slim PM for 2 or 3 days, you know, which I did use it for 2 days and I lost 6 pounds. I
Wow.
wanted to say that I used it, right? See, sometimes you can't think about, oh, it's 69 or 79, I can't remember the price of it, I think it's 69.95. You can't think about the price of it, right? You gotta think of it as an investment in your future.
That's
Okay, and I
good.
think that's a lot of times we don't invest in our business. So having being a product of the product. The next thing was, sharing before and after. And you wanna make sure the validity of the before and after. You know, you don't wanna post somebody's picture and you're not sure that they need to use TLC products.
Absolutely.
Number one. So one of the
I see
things
this
that I do is if I see a
so
before and after picture, I look for that person's name, I inbox them and I ask them permission to post their picture. And then I ask them what products did they use. See, that gives you first, it gives you permission to do it. You don't wanna just make the assumption that people are okay with you posting your picture. Now, there are some people in the business that are okay with doing it. But I wanna know what products you use, because the first question somebody's gonna ask me, what products did they use? So what is it for you if you're posting it before and after, then you can't really, with high integrity, share with them exactly what they use, because you don't know. So it's very important that you do inbox the other person and find out, at least what products they use. And then the next thing is, doing a variety of different products. You know, we're not just a tea product, you know, really expose, the 3D lashes. Women, if you're missing out on that, oh my God, those 3D lashes, you'll have a customer every month. Tip for the day. You know, mascara you shouldn't keep in your countertop for more than 30 days because you're pulling it in and out. You're leaving it open for infection for somebody else. You know, for them to actually have infection in their eyes. So 30 days you should be replenishing that. And that's something that I educate individuals that purchase the beauty lashes from them. Because we want to make sure that they have a healthy, you know, eyes. Because we don't want any irritation. We don't want them to say, this product irritated my eyes. Well, in the long run, it's because the mascara has been exposed too long. Germs, things like that. Because when you open it up, you expose it to what's in there. Right? Okay. All right, so we want to expose all different types of products. We don't want to just limit to our weight loss kits. We want to share with them that we have energy products, the NRT, the T, the NutriBurst. That's one of my most popular kits that I actually retail. Because everybody wants the energy, right? Everybody needs a multivitamin. And let me just say this, you get a person on a multivitamin, you're not a customer for life. And you know the children who use those products too, the NutriBurst. Yeah. And even stories of children that have ADHD that use the NRG. Of course, we don't make medical claims, but some people are probably doing live. We don't do medical claims. But because of that, a child went from failing, when our business partners came for a lady person, went from failing to straight up. Didn't have to have a tutor. Had 2 tutors. Didn't have to have a tutor. And it's the NRG that gave me mental clarity. So we really have to really take time to understand the products, share multitude of products, don't just minimize, even to a point of, here recently, I've really been sharing about skincare, because a lot of people don't understand that we have skincare. I had several people like, oh, wow, I didn't know you have skincare. When did I have my consultation? So I'm setting up skincare parties, you know, where people can be exposed to the product, right? So we have to be creative. We have to think outside of the box of just the tea, because even when last year when we had the delay in the shipments, we could either sink
Right. Or
or we
swim.
could stroke, right?
Yes,
So I
yes.
chose to stroke, you know, I was gonna stroke. So I had to really get educated on all the products. And how do you do that? By experience. You have to experience the products. Don't think about your business as $1 million business, not $120. Not a $20 check. I have $1 million business. Is that posture?
Mhm.
Is that posture? Yeah. I have $1 million. You're posturing up. It's not just, it's just not.
You booked enough.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I thought that meant something negative when
Oh,
you
no,
show,
no.
when you show, it's another word for,
When I say-
being arrogant.
No. When I'm speaking that, I'm speaking it in my brain. I'm not telling anybody out there I have $1 million business. I'm telling myself.
That's
Self,
what I thought. Oh, okay.
is that better? Is that clearer? Self is not arrogant. Self, this is $1 million business. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Clarity.
Just like she shared about the piano coming up. Self, this is $1 million business. See, we can get deterred just because, oh my God, what we gonna do?
Mhm.
$7 million.
Yeah.
We have what, 48 pounds?
I honestly don't even see what I got on.
That's Slim R.
You?
Right here,
You sell a lot of
summer
gun?
ready. Who's getting summer ready?
Or deal like
Are you, that's what I've been posting here lately. Are you ready to get your body summer ready?
my granny.
We got less than 30
She called me the
days.
other day. I need some more than pills for my gout.
Are you getting your body summer ready? So post things that will promote a summer ready
I'm in
body.
Georgia for what I
The
do.
detox, the weight loss kit, the energy, the Slim R, the Nvidia. Because people want good looking skin, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay? And y'all don't miss out because the Nvidia is helping you with crusted feet. It is, it's you. You want to be summer ready. You don't want to show up on the beach with some flip-flops on and then this look at all a hot mess, right? You want to look slick. You know, you want to look slick. You want to go to Miami, which will be in a couple of weeks.
Ready.
And you want to be summer ready, right? So that's what it's powerful. The Nvidia, don't look at the dollar amount, look at the overall result. See, are you worth $1 million? Are you worth 1 cent? Something about that today. The other day, do you have $1 million mindset? Or do you have a 1 cent mindset?
Food stamp. Food stamp mindset.
See, it's posture, it's not arrogance. It's for you to engulf and take that paradigm shift. Because otherwise, if you hang around 1 cent minders, guess what?
The
Guess
same.
what's going to happen?
Birds of a
Y'all do
feather.
the same thing around Fort Cool. Yeah, I'm broke. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Me too,
Girl,
girl.
I love going on trips. Yeah, I know what you mean. They always go on trips. That's because they hang around millionaire mindsets. You know, they're shifting, right? So be careful about yourself. What's the next question?
So you touched on the health assessment, well, really consultations, but I hear you say. Is that a health assessment that you're doing to build the ticket? Because you had an extraordinary week. You had some extraordinary weeks, okay? And I've been watching it every day, okay? And so I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing. Now, that health assessment, are you able to share that with us? Is there a template that you've been using as you're doing the description to kind of share or suggest the prescription for their subscription? When you had that big week, I know a lot of that came from auto ships too, because you're a mastermind at marketing, branding, and sales, okay? So it came from auto ship and it also came from the retail sales. I need you to break that thing down in layman's terms, like exactly what that week looked like, and did you use a health assessment, and do you have it on a template that you can share with everybody today?
All right. I don't have it on template, but I will put it on template and I'll give it to Twyla.
Yes.
But I don't say health assessment
Okay.
because I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay.
I want to be clear and I always let people and I give people the disclosure that I'm not a medical doctor. Because most people see doctor and they think medical doctor. That's just the bottom line. But I do let them know that I am a part of the product.
Okay.
And my objective is truly to find out what their needs are.
Okay.
So I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask you That way I can recommend the right products for you, specifically for you. Like this morning, there was a young lady that inboxed me and said she wanted to, right? I asked her a question. What do you hope to gain from this? Then I wait for her to answer. She says, I want to lose 50 pounds. And so I respond, awesome. Let me ask you a couple of other questions. She says, sure. I said, do you have any medical issues that I need to be aware of? Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but I want to understand what her situation is so I can make the right recommendations. Okay? Then, from there, she shared with me she didn't have any medical, right? So from there, I said, based on, I want y'all to really get this, based on the information that you just shared with me, my recommendation to you is to actually get one of our weight loss kits. Now, it really depends on, do you want to lose it fast or do you want to lose it slow?
And that's good.
All right? Because you put the ball back into their court and they have the opportunity to tell you whether it's fast or slow. So most people say, oh, I can lose it fast? Yes, absolutely. You follow a plan, right? That we have, and I'm going to recommend, based on your overall assessment, based on you saying you want to lose fast, I'm going to recommend the weight loss kit 1. Okay? And the reason why I recommend the weight loss kit 1 is because it does happen faster. It burns the fat. It suppresses your appetite. It's going to get you on a fast track. You can either do it 26 or 40 days. Now, my recommendation to you is that you take the 40 days. Because no need to break that interruption, because if you break the interruptions, you're going to have 6 weeks to wait until you do it another course. So why not maximize 40 days straight? You'll be in the rhythm, you'll be in the consistency of eating a certain way, and go ahead and run that 40 days, right? So what she said. 40 days. Excellent. So already, I haven't even talked to her about product yet, as far as amount. Then from there, I let her know that one of the things that's required for breakfast is either tea or coffee. So I recommend hot coffee. So that adds another item to the ticket. So instead of it being tea, it ends up 4 items. The NutriBurst. First of all, the tea, because it's going to detox our body. The NutriBurst is going to replenish and build her body back up. It's also going to help digest her food. It's going to give her all her essential nutrients and vitamins that she needs on a daily basis. And then the HC3, that's going to go in, and it's going to actually perform and melt the stored fat where needed. Yeah, anybody tried the HC3? It's amazing, isn't it? It works like that. You start to really see it. And then from there, the coffee, you're gonna give them that. And so from that, I'm gonna let her know how much the cost will be. So she's gonna need $2 HCG for 40 days.
That's why you should do it.
All right. And she's gonna need 2 months supply too, because even though it's 40 days, she's gonna want to continue it for 60 to 90 days for detoxing. If she's never detoxed before, but I definitely recommend 2 months of supply too. And I recommend 2 NutriBursts. 2 NutriBursts. And then the box of coffee is only 20 sachets, so I recommend 2 boxes of coffee. So it could end up running into about 8 items. Right? So that 8 items, ladies and gentlemen, will be $160 market. Right? The great thing about it is if you have product on hand, which I do, because, see, you can have a cash and carry business or you can have a click and order business. Both works. But I can tell you, cash and carry, you're going to sell more. Because when people make the decision to get ready and get started, they want their product now.
Please say that again.
When people make the decision to get started on whatever regimen you give them, they're ready to get started now. They don't wanna wait 3, 4 days, 5 days, sometimes 7 days, depending on where they're located. They wanna get it right now. So remember, preparation meets success. You have to prepare for your success. You have a paradigm shift, you gotta prepare for that. You gotta prepare and have product on hand, right? You gotta prepare to take the time, 10 minutes to consult someone. And for making that recommendation, I want you guys to know that she did go ahead and get 2 HCGs. She got 1 NutriBurst, right? She got 1 month supply of tea, right? And she got a box of coffee. So that ended up being 5. But I know in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm following up because I do a follow-up. I do a follow-up 2 days after they start using the product. You guys, it's about building relationships. Because see, when you build that trust with them, you show a person how much they care. They don't care about how much you know. They want to know that you care. And when you show them how much you care, it's impactful. Because these first 5 days of on that HCG is critical. Because they can either sink or swim. As I say, stroke, because I really stroke and swim. And I'm not even swimming. But it's very critical. The first 2 days that they use the product that you're following up. It don't have to be a phone call. It could be a text message. It could be, chat in the Facebook or whatever. You communicate. Communication is so vital. Follow-up is key. Follow-up is to your fortune. When you follow up, that's your fortune. It actually will create that referral funnel that you're looking for, and I'll talk about that in my run. The referral funnel is a very critical part of relationship building, because when you relationship build with individuals, then you build trust. So 2 days, 2 weeks, follow-up, okay? But you always want to keep the open door too, and let them know if you have any questions, if you get stuck. Also let them know on the HCG they may stall. If you stall, reach back out to me. Don't get worried that you're not losing weight. We'll get you back on track. Because it's common. It happened to me. See, I'm relating with them. I'm letting them know up front what to expect. You gotta give people proper expectations. You can't just give them the product and say, here you go. Good luck. You gotta take people to the product. But I'm telling you, it will build your referral funnel. All right, 2 weeks. And then 3 weeks, the week before they're running out of time. Because you don't want them to run out, because you want them to stay the course, right? You want them to stay the course so they can have success, right? And focus is follow one course until successful, right? So they're following one course until successful. But the process is for us to make sure that we're helping them and guiding them through the process. It takes 30 seconds to send a message. Can we do this? Yeah. Can we do this?
Yes.
Awesome. Now that we have the success, I'll share with you a story. There was a young lady I sold the weight loss kit to and the Delgado coffee when I first got started with the business. And, my objective was to retail to recruit. And I think a lot of times we miss that step because we're so in a rush to build our team. Get binary qualified, which we all will find too that you can get binary qualified. Okay, so if you binary qualified, you get binary qualified today. That's the question. Okay, you got to get binary qualified today. But going through the process of building your team and organization, you want to make sure that you are going through the process. And this young lady reached out to me. She saw me posting about the weight loss. She saw my weight loss. And she said, I want to try this thing. That's what she called it. Okay. And she said, I've tried different things. I haven't been successful. You know what I told her? I said, you will be successful. Our products are very intentional and impactful. They work. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. I want you in. Are you in? And she said yes. I said, okay, great. We're going to get you started on the weight loss kit 1. And I'm going to walk you through step by step how to be successful with this. In addition to taking 1 cup of this coffee a day, you'll be blown away at your results. I promise you. If for any reason that happens, it doesn't happen, I'm gonna give you your money back. That's how much I stand on my promise. But you have to do your part. You can't come back to me and say, it didn't work, and then I ask you, did you follow the process? So you have to do your part. She said, okay, I'm gonna do my part. So I followed up with her in 2 days, followed up with her in 2 weeks. And you guys, in 30 days, she had lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
Okay, so then she sent me a message, because we build a relationship, right? And she sent me a message, she said, Dr. Kim, sometimes she said, this Kim, I lost 40 pounds. I said, I'm excited for you. She said, can I post my picture on your wall? Hello. Here I am. Go ahead and do that, right? And so she posted that picture on my wall. And she said, I pay tribute to these TLC products. They are amazing. I lost 40 pounds in 30 days. And Dr. Kimberly Edwards helped me. Please send her a message if you're interested in purchasing these products. She had a picture of the weight loss kit, the Delgado, and her before and after. Y'all know my inbox was like boom, 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 boom. Y'all ever been on your computer and it says ding, ding? I was like, wow, okay, money in the bag, money in the bag. But anyway, that's my humor. But seriously, I said, oh man, I gotta really service these people. But let me just show you guys from that one post, over $3,000 in 2 days from that one post. So stories said, facts tell, right? So we have to really be good at building relationships with individuals so that they be willing to share their story, because they don't have to. And what I tell them too, before you get started, I want you to do your measurements. I want you to take before and after pictures. Before pictures, because it's critical for you, so you can see the transformation. Not for me to post it on Facebook. That's up to you. If you want me to do that, I will. But this is just for you. I make sure I do that. That way, if they decide and they make that decision, they have the before and they have their after picture. And it's so impactful. Because one thing people want to know, does it work? And so from that, we had some mutual friends. Oh my God, I believe you. I believe you. But when I saw her picture, oh my God, I'm ready to get started, right? So, we're to get started on the products. And so they did. But then I went back to her and I said, listen, I got almost 3,000 in sales. Do you want this or you want me to take the money? See, I'm not gonna be greedy where I don't bless somebody else. We gotta really draw a fine line. We gotta give them that opportunity to say yes or no, right? So at that time she said, no, Dr. Kim, no, Ms. Kim, you go ahead. I wanna bless you and your family. I said, we received a blessing, but I want you to really keep in mind about this opportunity. So she posted it again a couple weeks later. Y'all, another $2,000 in 1 day. So I said, you want this to be yours, or do you want it to be mine? She said, no. She was on her way to take her son to an AAU basketball game. Y'all know AAU take money. Travel, entry of $10, $15 to get into the game, every game. You got
30 a day. 30 for the 3 people, 30 a day. 90 for the weekend.
Because you don't just go by yourself. You take mom, dad, sister, brother. You end up spending $150,000 a day. And she was riding down the highway and she remembered the conversation. She told me, Dr. Kim, I can't let that money pass by. I need that money. My family needs that money. And I'm so grateful that you didn't pressure me. You allowed me to see it for myself. So she ended up being on the top retailers list. Consistently retailing the product, supplementing her income. Well, her husband had recently lost his job. And she was able to replenish the income that they lost from just retailing the product. Now, she had never been in that market before. She got binary qualified. She's not even concerned about moving up to career path. All she wants to do is retail as possible. And I think that's where most people miss out, is that the retail is so strong that everybody can win. You don't have to go all the way to the top of the company to make a six-figure income. You can make a six-figure income retailing these great products. I'm gonna break some numbers in a little bit. We got about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna answer the last question. Going global. We didn't have any plans to go global. That week, we had planned April 1st through 7th. We had all planned out, we were positioned at that point, build up to that, because you know you have to go through a 90-day run of adding new business partners, retailing consistently, that kind of stuff. But that week, I think maybe a couple weeks before that, I had, Kenny Lloyd had set out a challenge and said, get 100 customers, right? So, I had already, before he even did that, I had said I was gonna get 200 customers in a month, right? Then when he set out that challenge, I said, I wanna challenge myself. I wanna challenge myself. See, in order to get better, you have to challenge yourself. You can't compete with anybody else. I can't be an Andrea White. I can't be Dr. Helen. I can't be a Chris Oliver. I can't be a Gail Matthews, right? I have to be the best Dr. Kim that I can be, right? So I knew that God had given me gifts in actually building relationships, retailing. As my mama said, I've been selling since I was about 3 or 4 years old. Mom would bring some candy home in New Jersey. I wait on Friday night on the stoop of the porch, and he held me a bag of candy. And what did Dr. Kim do? Well, back then they called me Kimmy. What did Kimmy do? Kimmy take that bag of candy. Yo, I got some candy. You want some? I was selling that candy. You want some candy? Everybody wants candy, right? Let me go find some candies. I know I got some candy somewhere, right? So as my mom would say, I've always been a person that had that gift. And so you have to identify your gift and lean in it, but you also have to grow in other gifts. Because we all have attributes in every facet of this business. We have to lean in our strength, but we have to build up the other things. Going into that week, I set a goal for to get the 200 customers in 1 week. And I didn't start until Sunday evening after church. Now, our day begins on Friday. And so I sent a message to my ambassador now, Tanya Yorn Scott, and I said, hey sis, I'm about to take it up a notch over these next 5 days. Now, mind you, it was like 6:30 in the evening on a Sunday. So she's like, okay, what you about to do? I said, listen, these numbers are looking really incredible. I said, I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm about to be a part of that. And I'm going to lean in my strength. And so I told her, I said, I'm going to challenge myself. Then I'm going to challenge my team to go out there and do 13 items, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. You guys, you have to make a decision. See, I think the most part that keeps people back is that you don't make the decision. You have to make a decision, and you have to take action. And so what I did was I recreated my list. I think you guys heard me last night. Relaunch and reload, right? If you're in the business, relaunch and reload. If you're brand new in the business, relaunch and reload. You should always stay in that frame of mind. Relaunch and reload. Or reload and relaunch, okay? Because you got to reload and reload that gun and then take off, right? So I said, I'm going to get 200 customers. And I had already figured out the math to it. So let's just say I got 200 customers and each bought one item at 40 points, okay? So that's 8,000 points right there, right? Profit of 4,000 points, 4,000. That's pretty good, right? 200, right? But let's just say I had got 200 customers with 2 items. And most people will buy 2 items. You just gotta tell them. See, they're looking for you, they're looking at you as an expert. And a lot of times we fall short because we don't posture up and tell ourselves that we have $1 million business. We are a brand ambassador. We know our products. We know what works. And a lot of times we're afraid to share because whatever reason, don't be afraid. We got very intentional products. The tea needs to go with the NutriBurst. That's my detox combo. You can't buy tea without the NutriBurst. I'll tell them, I want you to win. I want you to be successful. I know that NutriBurst is a key component to detoxing because it's going to replenish your body. And I want you to have results. I don't want you to come back and say you don't have results. I want you to have results. So at 80 points, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get 16,000 in body profit. 8,000 if you go through your customer account. So this is going to be through back office. This will be through your customer account, okay? But the volume that's going to go into the Bionaire is 25%. So 25% of the 8,000 is what? 2,000 points into the Bionaire. So let's just say we had a heavy hitter on your team that strength is retail. We need to be coaching our team to do that because it's strong in volume. It's very powerful. I'm breaking down some numbers in a little bit too. But that's 4,000 to the Bionaire. Then if I would have did 3 items, because my goal is always 3, that's 120 points. That's $24,000. That will give you 12,000 profit through your customer account, and then 6,000. And then this is 2,000, this is 3,000.
Yeah.
Dr. Kim, when you say,
No, it's,
No, because
That's right.
no, it's gonna be,
it's gonna be a that. 6,000. 25%, 4,000.
Is 25% of the profit or 25%
No,
of the volume?
25% of the points, because these are the points that it generates. So
But that's in the
25% of
binary,
that is in the binary through the customer account.
Yeah, okay.
okay,
25% of that is 4,000, 25% of that is 6,000.
Dr. Kim, I
No.
just wanna make sure I got you clear. When you say going through the customer account, you are funneling everybody then to purchase this through your back office? Or are you placing the orders from your person? Meaning you've got product on you and you're selling those products that's on you and then you're placing the orders? Or are you sending them to your actual site?
So that particular week I had 7,000 points.
Okay,
Now I could have sent it through my customer account to get the 50%. And even in reordering your products, you should be ordering through your customer account because it's a smart way. You actually end up almost getting the product free.
okay.
Okay, so I really teach that. But in this case, this was my cushion. Because I didn't want to take my personal money. If I was going to get that close, I want to be able to utilize my strength to get there. So at that particular occasion, based on, and this is not an entitlement for anybody. So I don't want anybody to think that if your leader is going for a goal, that you're entitled for them to give you points. Because you got to do the work. Okay? And it's something that, like if they were to run for director, I might give them 100 points.
Okay.
But they gotta have 900 points for me to give them 100. I'm not gonna just put 100 points and you ain't got no body. If they are going for regional, 5,000, not regional, executive, 5,000 points, I'm gonna give them 5%, that's 250 points, okay? But they gotta have 47 victims. They gotta do the work. It's kind of to take them over the hump. So this is what I do, is because my strength is retail, and I'll say, you know what, I heard you running for executive. I'm excited for you. When your team reaches that volume, on one side 5,000, on the other side 4,750, you got 250 points from me. Okay, and then the regional 10,000 points. Okay, that's 5% of that is what, $500, right? So I said 500 points. So I'll say, listen, I heard you. I got 2 people running for regional this week. I said, listen, you know I'm a retail queen. I retail. I said, you and your team produce. I'll have 500 points for you when you get to 9,500.
that's good.
You gotta be at 9,500 points. We had a young lady a couple weeks ago hit regional. She said, Dr. Kim, I'm 3,000 points away. This was at 10 o'clock at night. I said, very good, keep working. You're not giving up anything. You keep working. See, people think that it's a sense of entitlement for somebody to place somebody in the organization or even to give them points. No, it doesn't work, you gotta do your part. So in the end, you gotta repeat this process. It's gotta come back. It can't come easily where you're not gonna be able to duplicate it, right? So you gotta be able to produce it. So does that help?
It does, and because you're talking to so many, retail kings in here and retail queens, I want you to touch on this one. When you're retailing from your person, okay, are you retailing it at what the cost is? Are you marking anything up 10%, 50%? What does that look like? So we can stay comparable and really have this team unit that people are not trying to undercut one another when you're doing it on social media. So like, what are you selling that we could win?
Well, I never sell any lower than what the company offers. I
Okay.
never degrade what the company offers. I'm
Right.
never gonna do that.
Okay.
Because one, it takes people out of the competition. Then, somebody will go to this person and instead of they going, they may see me and they're like, oh, she got, $7 tea. I can get it from her for $7. No, we need to really stay in alignment with what the company has. Okay.
And when you are
And then the
marketing-
other thing is, we can do a convenience fee.
Okay.
And that's where I'll get with. I'm not gonna charge $20 more, it might be $5 or $10 more. But I'm gonna also incorporate in that cost, if they were to go to my website, whatever that price is gonna be plus $5.
Okay.
Or plus $10, depending on what the product is. Because you're giving them a convenience. You're either mailing it or you're actually delivering it to them. It's a convenience for them to go ahead and get started. And I give them that option. Do you wanna start now or do you wanna wait 3 to 5 days? It's up to them, but I have product on hand, I can service you immediately. And you can get started today or you can get started tomorrow. Choice is yours. The other thing is I wanna encourage you guys, there are some people that are putting products on different, because it actually kills your business and it kills your business partner's business. I'm not gonna name these other sites that people can go and buy them from because I'm not promoting them. Well, we wanna make sure we stay conscious of that because we have a product that we don't have to, lower the price because it's very powerful and intentional and it works. So we wanna make sure that we keep the integrity of the product so that people will understand if they go, what they're gonna do is they're gonna go to you and they're gonna inbox you, how much is your tea? Then you're gonna say, whatever, how much is your tea? And then how much is your tea? And see, we wanna make sure that we're consistent across the board. Now, if I sell an individual pack of tea, I'm selling it for $20. 1 week supply. I show value. I say you can either get 1 week supply of tea or you can get a month supply at $55. Cause it's like 51, something like that. Yeah, so I say $55. The choice is yours. You get 4 packs, 55, or you get 1 pack, 20. Which one works for you?
So Dr. Kim, the people that are just focused on retailing, do I hear you saying that you should, those people, because this is the question that keeps coming on Periscope. I only want to retail, I'm not interested in making rank. Should I be marking my product up at minimum of what and not maximum?
Okay.
It's the max that the person should go, like on resolution, for example. We buy for this, what should a person that's just retailing be selling resolution
I just
for?
do $100 fee.
Okay,
And a person that's just retailing, they should really be reordering their products through their customer account.
Okay.
And they're retailing that way. That way they're gonna get their 50%, plus they're gonna get recovered for the cost of their products. That way that they'll be able to actually, they can track a figure income with that, and just retailing through that customer account.
Their
That-
back office.
Right, because see, that's what the company actually measures those ring earners by. They measure it by what's in the back office commission, not from what you sell out in the field. So it's very important that a person that wants to get recognized for their retail sales is to go through their customer account. Okay? Now, in certain situations, if a person's running for rank, you let them know the options, the different options, and they're out there all on the internet. I know Nicole Cooper has a great explanation about how to do a director, and she shares all the different facets of how to go. And it's just up to you on how you want to do it. So you either, retail and recruit, by packages, or you retail, recruit, and then utilize your skills and funnel, points through the organization. I'm gonna break down some numbers too. If you have a certain amount, if you have 8 people on each side, like you have not made director, you have 8 people on each side selling 13 items each, and we're gonna take a break. 13 items each. That will give you 1,000 points on each side. Everybody go director. If you got some retailers, tell them to get binary qualified. Tell them to get a team that retails. They can rank up just from retail, and I'm gonna break down some numbers. They can go all the way to the top of the company, retail together.
Wow.
Excuse me, Dr. Kim. I don't know how many people in here only been in the business 2 weeks, but I'm totally confused. So when you talk about integrity, I heard some words that kind of startled me. I'm 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks in the company. I have not recruited anyone, but I do have a little bit of retail sale in the last 2 weeks. I was laid off 2 weeks ago. So when you're saying that you can mark up for 10% or whatever percent over what the product costs, I am totally confused. So I am an engineer. So I'm a 1 + 1 equal 2 person. You understand? So I sold to my neighbor. I didn't tell her nothing but I lost 30 pounds. I sell a detox tea. Here's my website. She didn't want to hear it. She said, where's the product at? Can I come get some right now? In my mind, I'm like, okay, the product sells 4 bags of tea for $44.95. That's what I told her. Then she said, I said, but you got to use the Nutribus. That's what I was told. I didn't know. I'm 2 weeks in. Then she's like, okay, well, come on, let me buy it. Can I write you a check? I said, okay, I'll do my math. 1 + 1 = 2. I had no idea. I was supposed to be selling this for more than what the website said. I didn't know how to tell me that.
So listen, you're an independent business owner, right? So you can order product from the company and basically leveraging your business because you are a distribution intermediary. Okay, so you're the CEO of your company. You decide on how you're going to run your business. Okay. So within reason, yes, you can market your product. If you have it on hand, now they're going to.
I had it on, I just come here, I don't know what the young lady is that helped me last week. A couple of young ladies helped me. I appreciate them, wherever they are. But I'm sitting here looking at these girls over there. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
So for you,
That's not integrity to me if you're saying that, but now you're explaining it to me, but that should have been explained to me. That's what I'm saying.
well, this is training right here, so maybe everybody didn't even know that right here. So I want you to know that you're not by yourself, okay? And there are other people in this room that may not have known that. You know, as a business owner, you can do that within reason. You know, the only thing that Jack asks us to do is to make sure that we stay within the price point of what the company offers and not lower the price.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, one question, basically, as you were describing the situation there, when you were saying a person was making the purchases and then she was asking the question, is it back office, front office? Which one of those is it? I thought the purchases from the front office is the one that gives you the 25%.
It does.
So which one was that
Okay.
that you were describing? Back
So,
office or front office?
This is back office. I'm saying if you want straight.
What you mean as you are your own, your own?
No. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is, let's just say you retail to 200 customers at 40 points. You got 8,000 points in volume, okay? That would be straight volume. That you can have the opportunity that I was talking about, the 100, the 250, the 1,000, that you could place in the back office of the organization. You get paid in the binary, but you will not get your 50% return.
Okay.
Okay? Give a clear picture. If you had the product, right, or you actually did it through your retail account.
Okay.
You actually went to your customer account, you created one with your name, which you should all do. You go through your customer account, you place this order through your customer account, will yield you a check in 18 days for this amount. Okay? Now, if you chose, which would in turn put this amount of points into the binary.
Wow.
Are y'all with me? Okay, I'm sorry, I get so excited, I know.
Dr.
Yeah.
Y'all with me, Coney, you with me?
It's gonna only give 1,000 points, because you're gonna get 25% of the 4,000, not 25% of the 8. Because if we're doing it as a customer,
Right, so if it's an 8,000 points, it's gonna be 25% of that, that's the order.
But that's if we-
This is your commission,
oh, that's,
right, and then it's 25% of the points. And it is 2,000.
but I'm saying if we're doing it as a customer order.
Yeah, if you did this as a customer order, 8,000 points, you get 25% of the points, you get a
Okay, so that's the
50%
money.
check, and 25% goes to the company. Y'all with me?
No,
It's not right.
Okay.
Rain man.
Okay, so
I don't
25%.
argue with it, 'cause I do, I know.
Okay, all right, so then we're gonna take a break, because I know some people need to take a break. All
Walk me
right.
through what you said about I need to create a customer account right there.
Right, you create a customer account for
Okay.
yourself, okay? Then from there, whatever products you need replenishing, you go through your customer account and order those products. In return, the company is going to get 25% of that, okay? You're gonna get 50%, that's what we talk about, the retail part,
Okay, gotcha.
50%. And then 25% is gonna roll up to the binary. So whoever enrolled you, that volume is gonna roll up. So you won't get the credit, but it's gonna roll up. So I'm gonna talk about how people can get to director, which is retail the product, as long as they're binary qualified.
Okay,
So that make better sense?
yes, but that's not that analogy. The
Yes.
200 times 40.
Yeah, it is. So this is through the back office, if for any reason you were helping a team member to go to the next.
So that's through their account,
No,
not your account.
let's just say you have somebody at the bottom of your organization that will actually benefit all the way going up to your, you could do that. You could filter with their permission, filter it through their back office, and all the points will roll all the way up to the top.
I got that part, but you first said customer account, my customer account. And so I'm getting, is this two different things we're talking about?
I'm talking about two different things.
Okay,
Utilizing the points to help your team, if you choose to, not a sense of entitlement, or going through your customer account, which will yield you 50% of that, which is $4,000. 25% goes to the company, because they have to get their part, and then 25% of the points go in the binary.
Okay, Dr. Kim, let me just say this, okay, because I believe one of the number one problems of me, I've been in network marketing for 36 years. I've never seen a company that did not have a wholesale amount, okay? And so with this young lady talking about the problem she had, is just like, okay, if I give her my website, she goes, that's the exact same price I see. So I sell my tea for $44.95 plus the tax of the shipping, whatever, $50. You want 4 packs, $10, $50, okay? Well, because I know if she goes to my site, that's what she's gonna see. So personally, anybody want up there stuff that's on you, because especially if you're delivering it, you put in that convenience fee, but I don't want her to come back to me and say you gave me a different price. If you would have sent me to your website, this is the price I had. Because I've never seen a company where we didn't have a wholesale. Every company anybody in this room that's been in networking with me, we had a wholesale price, so we immediately could go up, we had a difference. When you said about the customer account, that's another thing most of us have never seen. To establish me a customer account, go run something through it, especially if I'm trying to build up some inventory, so I can get some of my money back. So that $4,000, absolutely, if I'm trying to pocket some of my money back, then I would do it like this, do a customer account. I've been in this business almost a year and just established me a personal customer account, because I was about the money and put it into the binary, which is two different things. So then on the flip side of that, when you went to the 7,000 and you put it in the bank, just in case you needed it when you were going break. So, I think that's what's happening with a lot of our minds, especially anybody that's been in network marketing. The thing that for me I had to do, and it was a challenge, is to say this is a new ball game. If everybody that's been in something else that sold something, we have to leave whatever we knew before alone. Because this is a whole nother animal. And it really is. It's a whole nother animal for us to say, okay, I can go make money. It look like I'm making money on myself. I thought that was illegal. For them to say, I can go run all that money through, get that $4,000, and I'm paying myself. I'm making money on myself. Protect them, if they got their lawyers, I'm sure they didn't figure that out, okay, so we can do that. No, I'm very serious about this, and you know, I can make money on myself. And so even when Chris was asking the question, it's so different for us, and I just thank you for coming and breaking this down for us, because it is such a big paradigm shift, and even with LaQuania, yeah, that number's gonna go up above your head, but you got the $4,000. It's not gonna help you to make a rank, those 2,000 that she's talking about. That's going above your head. You're not gonna get to count that towards your rank, but you made the $4,000. So every time we do something, we have to decide, what are we trying to maximize in this? Keep all 5 ways separate from each other, okay? Because that customer count threw me. I'm just saying. It threw me, but I know how to get that money now. I'm just saying. When I came over here, I did like every other network marketing company I did. I wanted to leverage myself, get that 1% of 100 people effort. So that meant I needed a team. But you taught me, get me some money too, because the team may not be working. I'm just saying, I'm gonna talk about that, but we're gonna go ahead and break, so people can go to the restroom, and she's gonna make an announcement, then we're gonna come back and share a little bit more.
Okay, so ladies, there's one near the restroom, around the corner past the elevator, there is also, you can't hear me talk. There's also a cafeteria if you wanna get some snacks and some help. All we have here is water, clothes, if you want to get that, just food or whatever else. But, the cafeteria is we're taking a 5, maybe 10-minute break. We'll be right back.
Get 500.